This stuff here, Yerushalmi Shabbos, in the article Oz v'Hadash with Mamash at top Ayin Zayin Amar Aleph, Tamatinon, and in the Vilna, we're also Mamash at the top of Samar Gimel Amar Aleph, Tamatinon. Okay, so we're going back on our Mishnah, and we're going to the ratio of our Mishnah, which had Hamiskam Milhotz Fona Volo Achrov Potter. You had in mind to be motzi something in front of you, went behind you, you're Potter. Then it said that's the ratio of the ratio. The safe of the ratio says la'achrov bolafanav. If you had in mind to be motzi in back of you and came in front of you, you're chayiv. So the Gemara is going to have difficulty and is going to say these are two separate tanoim. Now in the Bavli, the Mishnah and the Ritbaz tries to make the Yerushalmi work of the Bavli. I don't see how it works. He wanted the Bavli's mechalik between shmira pchusa, which is behind you, and shmira me'ula, which is in front of you. And shmira pchusa going up to shmira me'ula, you're chayiv, because you upgraded. Shmira me'ula going to shmira pchusa, going behind you, you're potter, because you downgraded. But the Yerushalmi does not seem to be going with that. The Yerushalmi seems to say hotzah is hotzah, front, back, and therefore, how do we look at the contradiction in how in Psak? It must be that it's two different tanoim. And the Gemara is going to find these tanoim in Maseches Krisus. And that's how the Gemara starts. Tamat Ninon, learned over there in Krisus. Rabbi Shimon Shizuri Shimon Omer, learned called Davashu Shem Echad Shu Chayev. There's no machlokas there. They said there's no machlokas by the Shem Echad, meaning you had in mind to do Ktsira, and you did Ktsira. You're not sure if you did Ktsira of one tree or another tree, but you know you did Ktsira. You're Chayev. Chayev Chatas. Amal Go Davashu Mishum Shnei Shemos. Machlokas, whether it's two Shemos. You know you did something wrong, but you don't know if you do Ktsira or Tchina. Did you harvest or did you grind? So and there. Shabilezim Chayev Chatas. Who says doesn't matter. You know you did something wrong. You're Chayev Chatas. Yeshua Plater. Yeshua says now you didn't. You don't know. You don't know what you did wrong. You part from the Chatas. Now the next part of the Gemara we have to go to the Girsa Pnei Moshe, which is very different than the Girsa we have here. We're going to follow Pnei Moshe's Girsa, and there that we're telling about Shnei Shemos. But now the Yerushalmi says, but there must be in our Mishnah. From our Mishnah, we can derive that even by Shem Echad, if you had him do the Malacha one way, and he did it the other way, that also is Machlokas. And in Machlokas is in our Mishnah itself between the ratio of the ratio and the Sefer of the ratio. And now that's the Gemara is going to explain that. Commander Shem Echad Nechleku. Our Mishnah is going to opinion that even by one Shem Echad Nechleku. And that was why in the ratio, where you had in mind do Milfarav and went Achrav, even though Shem Echad, you're Potter. Unless you're going to Rabbi Yeshua, obviously, right? Because Rabbi Yeshua is the one that says Potter. Puran commanded by Shtei Shemos Nechluku, because according to being that the only machlok is by Shtei Shemos, and according to Shem Echad, if everybody holds your chayev, the kind of Shtei Shemos saying Potter. Is the two Shemos here? Then therefore you should say Potter. It's one Shem. Shem Hotzah. So therefore, it's got to be that there's machlokes even Shem Echad, where he did the malach in a way which you didn't anticipate. Rabbi Yeshua says you're Potter, and that's the ratio. What about the Sefer? The Sefer of the ratio. Lachrav ubal fun of Chayev. It was Lachrav, and you came in front of your Chayev. Wait a minute. Command the Rabbi Shtei Shemos Nechleku. If it's going to opinion that Shtei Shemos Nechleku, everybody would agree. You're Chayev in that case, because this is Shem Echad. So here everybody agree. But Ram Kamano Shem Echad Nechleku. But here, according to opinion which holds that's Malus Shem Echad. V'kan Shem Echad hu, and here Shem Echad hu Chayev. You're Chayev. What do you mean? Rishon said you're Potter. Rabbi Shua is Potter, even though Shem Echad, because you didn't do this way you meant to do it. So how come to say for you're Chayev? Yeah, it's true. It's Shem Echad, but say we're going like Rabbi Yeshua, who says by Shem Echad, if you did it the wrong way, you didn't intend to do it, you're Potter. So the Sefer must be going like Rabbi Eliezer. Can't be that it's the same at the same time. It must be two different tanoim. The Gemara continues from this. Back in the gears of the Gemara itself, Rabbi Ela B'Shem Eliezer says tanoim. It's talking about two different tanoim. The ratio mission, the ratio of the ratio, and the safe of the ratio, two different tanoim. Madamar Tam and Chayev, he who holds their Chayev, which is Rabbi Eliezer, Here it's chayiv as well. Man my town potter, which is Rabbi Yeshua. Afacha potter. Here too, it's potter because it's and that's Rabbi Yeshua. So let's say chayiv. He is the sefer of the Reisha, and Rabbi Yeshua says potter. That's the Reisha of the Reisha. Okay. So again, no shmir mil. Doesn't seem shmir mil or shmir b'chusa has anything to do with it. Okay, now we go to the next part of the Mishnah. It says be'emes. So be'emes. Amar Rabbi Elazar, kol makom yeshno be'emes. Anytime when it says be'emes, it's halacha l'Moshe miSinai. It's something which is halacha l'Moshe miSinai. So the article says that even though it seems to be kapshuta, but there is in the Bavli Lush is called be'emes amru halacha. In fact, the place in Yerushalmi where this statement is made, where it's clearly talking about the din d'Rabbanan. So many of the Mefarshim say it means it's a definitive halacha, as if it's halacha l'Moshe miSinai, not that it's an actual halacha l'Moshe miSinai. Okay, and that means that if it's a woman's wearing a sinar, in other words, an apron which is made to go flip around, so then it's chayiv ben milfon and ben achrab, and that is a oisgalten halacha. It's a true halacha. It's definitive. Lav dafka Moshe miSinai. It's as ilu, kilu. It's from Moshe miSinai. Okay, the halacha A says the Mishnah. Moshe kikar b'shus harabim. Somebody takes out a loaf into shus harabim. He's chayiv. Hotziu shtayim peturim. Shtayim she'asu. Two people took it out together. They're potter. However, lo yachol echad l'tziyah. It was very heavy. One person could not take it on his own. But you needed two people to take it out. Chayovin, they are chayav. The Shimon says they're even in that case they're exempt. If you take out for food less than the shear, whatever the shear is, in a vessel, usually grogeres, you're part of a keli. You're exempt even a keli shakli tfeilolo. The kli is exempt. The kli is subordinate to the food. If you're part of the food, you're part also on the keli. And therefore, it's a chai b'mita, pata alav hamita. If you take out a chai, and we have the principle chai nosi atzmo, a live person carries himself. So therefore, you're pata alav hamita, shamita tfeilalo. If you take him a stretcher, you're pata even a stretcher because the stretcher is subordinate to the chai. As a mace b'mita, but therefore, if you take out a mace in the mita, you're chayiv because there is no. It's not subordinate to the dead person. Now it's lav dafka on the mita. It's on the mace itself. You're chayiv on the mace because they don't say the mace. Mace is not no atzmo. But okay, it's lav dafka. Even though it says a mace and the mita chayiv, it's not going specifically on the mita. It's going on the mace, and of course you're chayiv on the mita since it's no. It's not I don't know. The mita could be still tavel to the mace. That's the truth. Yeah, this is going on the mace himself. Chink zayis in a mace, and a zayis in a mace, a zayis in a vela, a zayis in a vela, a kadosh in a sheretz. Chayovin, you are chayiv because all this is a significant because these are shurim of tuma and therefore they are significant from Lechs Machsheves. Whereas Rabbi Shimon is pater because the Malacha Shein Tzich Legufa. You're not, as the comment says, I feel may sholim. That Malacha Shein Tzich Legufa. You don't want it. You just want it out. You don't want to transport somewhere else. Chol Malacha Shein Tzorich El Sakim Elav have a Malacha Shein Tzich Legufa. But Tzon Lo Bolo. He doesn't want it. Lo Tzorich He didn't need it. La Malacha Sheves he. Rabbi Shimon according to Rabbi Shimon. Now, all that is the pshat of the Mishnah according to the Bavli. The question is whether the Yerushalmi agrees with that pshat in the last part of the Mishnah. But we shall see. Okay, so Gemara says Basosa. One person does a melacha. It's the pasuk in. So you're chayev if you do the malacha yourself. 2-3 people do a potter. So the Radal says going Rabbi Shimon. who says whether it's Zeyachol, Zeyachol, no matter what, you're part of two people do it. But I think it's also going to go to Rabbanim. It's just that Rabbanim distinguish. We should say it's possibly about Zeyachol, then you're part of by Zeyachol, you shouldn't do it by then you're Chayiv. In any event, it seems that it's going to everybody. It was short the room, Amar Kum Rabbi Yasi, B'Shem Rabbi Achad. A fascinating conversation. Kinigardi, which is light weaver's needles. So Rabbi Pater, Rabbi said two people take it out together, they're Pater. Because it's Shnaim Sha'asu, and it's Zeyachal. Lezer Rishim Chayiv. Lezer Rishim says, no, they're Chayiv. So Amar Rabbi said to him, wait a minute. Kach Shamati Yavuch is word for your father. That if two people do it, you're Pater. I heard from your father, we should add even by Zen Yochel. Say by Zeyachal, like this, it should be Pater. Right? So why are you saying Chayiv? Amar so Rabbi Lezer Shimon said to Rebbe, he said, Shimashis Abba Omdos. I served my father Omdos. The Yerushalmi brings down a nice pshat, many different pshat to me, but I like his pshat. He says, Omdos in my youth. There's days I meet him where I could stand. Mashloshim mashtal yeshivos, what you were not mishamesh even by the time you got to old age. Yeshivos means when you have to sit down. So in my youth, I served my father much more than you served him, even throughout his life, standing in youth and old age. So I'm more authoritative what my father said than you are. So it says, well, wait a minute. Anyway, why would Rebbe be authoritative about what Rabbi Shimon Chai said? Rebbe Tamid Rabbi Shimon Chai Dave? Was Rebbe Tamid Shimon Chai? Lo Tamid Rabbi Yaakov Bar Kuchi Ava? Was not a student Rabbi Yaakov Bar Kuchi? So anyway, it's not authoritative. What's Rabbi Shimon saying to him? El Kachamar, it's Taka. Rabbi Shimon said something else. He said, in my youth, I served my father much more, even in my youth, than you served your Rebbe in your youth and your old age combined. So, and the Gemara Taka says, Share Rabbi Lezer Shimon Nichlas Beis Avad. Rabbi Lezer Shimon came into the Beis Medrash, you punish Rabbi Makdiros. The face of Rebbe went black like a pot. Amalei and his father, Amalei Aviv, Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, father Rebbe said, it's obviously a nov on Rabbi Shimon Gamliel's part, but he said to him, it's appropriate that you should be a sitter, you should be afraid of Rabbi Shimon. Zari ben Ari, he's a lion, son of a lion. Avlatari ben Shmuel, you're a lion, son of a fox. Midamach Rabbi Lezer, this is also a Gemara in Bavatzia and the Bavli. When Rabbi Lezer, Rabbi Shimon died, Shach Rebbe Tava to say Rebbe wanted to marry his wife. He wanted to marry Rabbi Lezer Shimon's widow. Amar Lei, so he says, I am a vessel, so to speak, which is used for Kodesh, for Elizabeth Shimon. You should, it should be used for Chol. In other words, I'm not going to stoop to marry you since I was married to Rabbi Elizabeth Shimon. Rabbi Shubbar Bar Yitzchak, going on to the next part of the Mishnah, where we see talked about the kalim being tougher to the food. That's say about a food which needs a vessel. Going ilan tutaya, like berries. If they don't require the chayav alcohol, you're also going to be liable on the vessel itself, even if there isn't a shear of less than a shear of the food inside the keli. You're going to be chayav in the keli. It's not like the Bavli. Bavli is not told that way. Shamiot, you can be chayav on the keli independently if it's not the type of fruit which requires a kli in order to carry it. The article says that tzarech kli, not because they're small, but because they're soft. It could also because they're small. You need a kli in order to carry a lot of them. But in any event, I see the article brings down that the Ravid does bring down the name Yerushalmi. The Rambam is the one who says that the Bavli doesn't make this chiluk. Okay, says the Mishnah further. Hamotzias as a chai b'mita pata afa mita. So the chaya turn garmei because chai nosis atzmo. Right, like we said. As a mace memita chayav. So if you take out the mace and the mita, you're chayav on the mace. I said the Mishnah. So the Gemara says that here, Divrei Kol, not like the Babli. The Babli says and he would argue even in this case they got the mace. And that's how we explain the Mishnah. Says, well, no. Everybody, even Rabbi Shimon agrees about this. He only argues about the Sefer. Okay, about the once again the Kazayis min Hameis, Kazayis min Havela, Kadosh min Hasheretz. So Lokein Tani, did we not? Lokein Tani, we learn Afreach Ra Koshu. If you're taking a Reach Ra, you're chayvim a Koshu. For Rabbi Ila, after Rabbi Shimon Moedeba, Rabbi Shimon also concedes. So the Shitas Yerushalmi against the Bavli is that if you take something because it has a bad smell, it's considered to be tzricha legufa, and therefore in the Reish of the Mishnah, in the first Mishnah of Motzi Sameis, if you take on account of a Reach Ra, then you are taka chayiv even according to Rabbi Shimon. Interesting that the article brings down that some Goinim, Rabbeinu Chanan, Rabbeinu Nisim, to bring down that Reach Ra, in order to remove it, it's considered to be Melchot Tzricha Legufa. And they may arrive from the Yerushalmi and they say that according to them, the other Rishonim argue, the Bavli, which says Rabbi Shimon exempts Otzaras HaMeis, is only when a mace doesn't have a bad smell. But the Rishonim hold that the Bavli Yerushalmi argue that you can't reconcile the two, not like the Gonim. Fascinating machlekes. Let's just read that line over again. Now that brings us to the bottom of Ayin Zayin base, and so I think I'd like to stop here because the question is the big question about first line Ayin Chesam Ralef. I know how to read that if it's a statement or if it's a question, and how to continue on from there. So, even though it's a continuation of the sugya, we'll leave that for tomorrow.